economic situations are harsh. You know what was done to betting is what should be done to these loan lending apps. I know they're businesses, but they should be governed in one way or another, because then itafika mahali mtu anachukua interest rates at 80%. You know, the more interest rates you put, the less likely people are to pay back your loans.
Yeah.
And the more phone calls, the more frustrations, the more sijui nini. So please, just let's have someone telling them that please. And there are some very responsible loan lending apps out there that even regulate how much you can take, a duration you can pay, and very nice interest rates alongside, and they even give you financial advice. So those ones are okay to operate. But kuna hao wengine, mimi mpaka I didn't know they call these days. I was called one day and I was told, unaweza taka kuchukua, unaweza kuwa uko kwa. I was called. I didn't know where
you to take a loan.
Yes. I don't know where they got my number from, but they did. So they called me, asked me, they told me who they were, and now they are giving loans, and if I want to take a loan. So please, someone should regulate and care about your data more.
Mm. Yes, that's true.
Tell that to the WorldCoin guys. Someone scans your iris and you give them all your for 5K.
Wasn't it 7?
7
anyway, it's okay.
7.
Let's continue.
Cindy's like, is there a difference?
Like,
the 2K was the biggest. Anyway, now a distressing undated video of a man captured on camera repeatedly assaulting his alleged girlfriend as his male friend looked on has unsettled Kenyans on X, which many, are calling for the arrest of the perpetrator. In the video, the dreadlocked man is seen having a brief argument with his girlfriend, who is seated across him. Before he stood up, proceeded to slap her, and she wasn't resisting. She just sat there and took it. And I think it's maybe indicative to the fact that it happens all the time. It just looks like, he gets angry like this, he gets worked up like this, he's very dramatic like this, and I think I know where this is going. For her to be so nonchalant, I think just shows it's definitely not the first time. And I'm so sorry to her and anyone else out there being abused. Cindy.
Well, just decided to start with me higher. There are two sides to this story. There's what we've seen. Then there's his side, there's her side, and the truth. Now, when a woman is abused and she takes it, it is her state of mind, it is what she has accepted, it is what she believes about herself.
Can you
rephrase that
to when a person, not when a woman, Cindy, when a person is abused?
See, now we're in the context of a woman.
Continue. No, continue.
For the person, hiyo ni yako. Comment yangu ni for the woman. When a woman is abused, because me only know how chicks think. So it is either her lack of knowing who she is, or her lack of knowing who her rights are, or her lack of knowing her power. So I totally understand the rage that is on social media, but my rage is with her. My rage is with her because I need to know what kind of box she has put her head in to accept and believe that what she is being given in terms of the physical abuse is okay. And it is not only this video. There are also tweets emerging that she was defending him, tweets emerging of the guy being belligerent and saying, if you think she's going to leave me, she won't. And this is just one of the many cases of women who go through domestic violence and stay. I just need to understand the mindset and how funky your mind must be to be in a place where you know that you're being physically harmed and it will be continuous, but you're staying and asking for forgiveness, knowing that down the line more will come. That's my take.
In the book, Betrayal in the City, Francis Mbuga says, life is not a straight line, and we see this every day. That you can never, I do not know. Every day I conclude that life is a complex whole. Like, we try to understand why she would be sitting there and doing this, and yet other people also come with the explanation of why this is happening. And the problem with this kind of behavior is it makes the fact that she stays, there's something that people are saying that, but she's okay with it. If she's okay with it, it might mean to the oppressors that the next person will be as well. so that then it makes the fight of those who are not okay with it less impactful because someone is okay with it.
Word.
So her being okay with it does
Right.
not mean it is the right thing to do.
Right.
Regardless of whether she's fine with it or not, it's not what she did, it's what he did that is wrong, that we are talking about.
Yeah.
But what really caught my attention was when people were discussing the third party who was with them and they were not doing anything about it. Really, I also wanted to know, maybe someone out there who's a lawyer and who knows what the law says about, you know, because people kept discussing whether this is aiding and abetting the crime. If you sit there in a crime scene and you're not doing anything about it, does it make you also responsible for the crime, or is it just, you know,
you're now an accomplice?
Is it
maybe
now?
This guy has seen it happen so many times.
That's what I was going
he's
to
like,
say.
that's how these guys
Yeah.
love each other and communicate.
And also maybe this guy has seen her taking it so many times and then they going back together. I wanted to bring something up that, you know, in March this year, 24-year-old Dan Ouma was killed in Homa Bay for trying to stop a fight between couples. 23-year-old in 2020, Kennedy Simiu was killed in Kitale for trying to stop a couple. A pastor was killed in Nigeria in 2021 for trying to stop a couple that were fighting. In 2023, a man was shot. There are so many cases of people who've been victims after trying to separate a fight. So I might not agree with his action of not taking action, but I understand it.
Yeah.
And actually with yangu is totally different. It is unfair for people to make them representatives of each gender, saying that women are failing because she sat there and as she was being beaten, that the man is representing all men and the other friend is also representing all men who do nothing.
Mato, I'm so sorry, I have to interrupt. I am so sorry. I've been told I have to take a quick break right now, but we'll be back and then we'll start with Mato. And then we will start with Mato. Najua, I am sorry. Even though this is why they call me toxic. Nani director. Anyway, but we'll be back. We'll be back after this. And then we'll start with Mato, I promise. Okay. Right before the break, we were talking about a man who was caught on camera slapping his wife. Is it his wife?
It's his girlfriend.
I thought it was the girlfriend.
And they're business partners as well.
Calling people wives and hata kuna ngombe moja hata kuku.
Cindy. Mama ni mama.
Pelekea baba yako.
Mama ni
Can
mama.
we stop lying to each other?
So this is the point I was trying to make. Let these people not be representatives of each gender, for whatever reason. That is why even as you're making your point, Cindy,
yes,
I wanted it to be about abuser and abused.
Yes.
Not the man and the woman.
Yes.
No, it's about the abuser and the abused. So let's be very clear. Otherwise, we are going to bundle everybody in the same bus. Tuanzie kuchukiana sisi.
No, I
wote.
totally understand you, but you see, this is contextual. It's a woman being beaten by a man.
Yeah.
And for me, as a woman, because that's the only thing I have been, no gender identification so far. I need to ask myself, what was her state of mind? Because you have to have the lowest self-esteem and the lowest lack of self-awareness to be in a position where you know you're going to be harmed but still present yourself, all because you're vulnerable. You see, the thing that people don't understand and appreciate, just because you feel some type of way does not mean it's rational. So you feel all these emotions and you think it's love and it's forever, but it's actually, and there's a word that we talked offline, I'd like to copy it, it's called trauma bonding. It's actually just triggers of things that happened in your past and you bring them in the front and calling it love. That's why I'm saying, tuachane pia hizi nonsense, this is my husband.
So, okay, well, here's a spanner in the works. They, you know, allegedly she cheated. He didn't want anything to do with her. She started pestering him, following him in, you know, just different establishment that he's at. And then he found her, she found him at that place. And you can tell he was intoxicated, so he wasn't quite himself. So I don't know. There's a lot of stories.
This video.
Yes, quite. Real quick.
I'm very glad that they brought it back. It's a 2022 video. It's not even for this time. It's not this year.
Yeah, there are also 2022 posts.
Yes, there are also
about you know, them fighting still.
Yeah, exactly. Atlemi is saying physical violence shouldn't be carried out by anyone, regardless of the gender. Hata wanaume wanapigwa huku nje, niulize mimi najua vile dema kipigwa lazima kukuwe na msee ata record, but wanaume wanapigwa offline.
That's true. Okay, now let's talk a bit about sports. Kenyan athlete Robert Kimutai Ngeno had his